Hello and welcome back to Mark's Garden UK, and as you can probably see, I'm not in my garden at the moment because I'm having a weekend in Torquay. So in this video I'm going to give you a short guided tour of the garden at Torre Abbey. I've already done a bit of a recce. I've had a look round, so I can tell you that this garden is going on my list of highly recommended gardens. It's a small intimate space divided into several rooms full of interest, and whilst it's not large, it is packed with things to see, including a glass house, a cactus house, and some ruins, and also a poison garden. Come on, let's go and have a look around. Now, Torre Abbey House and Gardens is just that. It's a house and a garden in one. So when you arrive, the admission price is for access to the house and the wonderful garden. Now, on the day, I only really wanted to visit the garden, so I asked at the desk, and they gave me the garden only price. So if you only want to see the garden, do ask at the desk, and they will give you the garden only price. And that there is the entrance. And when you come through the entrance, there's a little plant sale, and you're greeted with these amazing ancient ruins, and really helpfully all around the place there are little signs with information on them. But I'm not really here to talk about the ruins, as interesting as they are. I'm here to visit the wonderful garden, so let's go and have a look. Now, having already looked around this garden, I think that £6 per adult is extremely good value. So as you've just seen, you can make voluntary contributions, and I will be making a donation simply because I think you're getting so much for your money here. Anyway, let's continue with the tour. And here in the distance you can see the glass house, which we will go inside in a moment. But this to my right is the Agatha Christie poison garden. Now, Agatha Christie, the famous author, originated from Torquay, so they've dedicated this garden to her. And what's interesting about it is all these beds are around the subject of one of her books, and there are clues in each of the beds, and you're invited to try and work out which of her books each of these beds is giving you clues towards. Now, that's a wonderful diversion, and you mustn't let it distract you from the amazing planting in these beds, which are surrounded by a short yew hedge, which is a great alternative to box. But just look around here at these plants, and they are alive with bees and pollinating insects. Let me just reach over and show you this flower head. I'll just loop it with my sunglasses. Look at that. Isn't that astonishing? And there are examples of flowers just like that, and many other species all over this garden. It's so well kept and well maintained, and is actually staffed mainly by volunteers. Isn't that amazing? Although I have to say, if I lived in this neck of the woods, I would happily volunteer here in this amazing space. Look at these beautiful roses, and I wish you could smell them. Again, some more of those amazing flowers. Aren't they just spectacular? Now then, all around the place, palm trees, because the nice thing about Torquay, the English Riviera, it has a little microclimate all on its own, and it's sunny and warm, and the average temperatures are higher, so they benefit from being able to keep slightly less hardy plants outdoors all year round. Look at these foxgloves, digitalis, well known for being the source of a poison. Let's now go and have a look around the glass house. And we approach the glass house, and as we do, we pass this beautiful little intimate space which has been divided off, and you enter it through that arch there. And look, isn't that beautiful? A tiny little example of a courtyard garden there, with a lovely big terracotta pot. And look at this rambling rose all the way around. It is a rambling or bush rose, I'm not entirely sure, but it's beautiful, whatever it is. I think you can see some sweet peas over there. Oh, the depth of the colour on these sweet peas, highlighted against that backdrop of white roses. Amazing. and a little bench to sit and contemplate if you wish. But on a day like this, don't forget your hat and don't forget your sunscreen. And so into this amazing extra large glass house we go. And I probably won't do a great deal of talking because there are other people inside and I don't want to intrude on their enjoyment of the glass house. So just enjoy these images from inside. It's so well organised and ordered, and all the plants are labelled and named. This is a real plants person's greenhouse, I feel. And up there into the height of the glass house roof, look at those amazing palms and yuccas. A little bit of interest here, especially for children. I like it when gardens do this because you want a family day out. You want different levels of interest for different parts of the family. A tiny indoor fish pond with a little river and water spout, which I'm sure adds to the humidity in here, which will be beneficial for so many of these plants. And there are fish in this pond, if you look closely. Some pristine arum lilies, and when I say pristine, they are absolutely perfect. And look here, some carnivorous plants. I find these fascinating, and actually I learned recently that these are actually quite hardy. You can keep them outside in the UK climate. These are very happy in this glass house. And of course, as you probably know with these pitcher plants, the unfortunate insect goes in there and never comes out again, and it feeds the plant. These are obviously very well fed carnivorous plants. Now, I'm no plant expert. My YouTube channel is called Mark's Garden UK because it's about my garden, not because I profess to be an expert gardener. And when you visit a glass house like this and you see these rows and rows of plants neatly aligned and labelled, it makes you realise just how much you don't know about plants. Everyone has so much left to learn. This one here, apparently, it doesn't like water on its leaves. But of course, I do recognise this specimen, a canna. And so we leave that beautiful glass house to go and visit an Alpine Rockery. Always remember to close the door after you. This is interesting. This is obviously the power plant for the greenhouse, and there's a theatre of plants. And just around the back here, we have said Alpine Rockery. Now, it does make it very clear here that some of the paths through there are rocky and uneven. But never mind, because if you don't want to walk up there, you can circumnavigate it on this very smooth and level path and still capture the majesty. It is exquisite, especially on a day like this when you get the clear, bright sunlight. It's wonderful. Oh, and let's not forget, occasionally there are items of sculpture. This one is called The Rower. Musa Bajdu there, hardy banana, next to their compost heaps, where they clearly make very nice homemade compost. And here against this wall is another greenhouse. We'll go in the other side of that greenhouse where the cactuses are kept. But for now, let's just meander through these paths, which are actually quite smooth and relatively level, so I think probably quite accessible, with the exception of those rocky paths through that rocky alpine area there. Now, moving along, let's go through and have a look at the Cactus greenhouse. So here is the Cactus House. It's like an enormous lean-to greenhouse. And the wonderful thing about these walled gardens is that the walls spend all day absorbing the sun's rays, and then they spend all night radiating that heat, and to create a higher average temperature, which adds to the already warmer microclimate that they benefit from in Torquay on the English Riviera. Let's go and have a look inside this very warm, I expect, Cactus House. And look at that. Somebody has spent a lot of time and put a lot of effort into arranging these fascinating arid loving plants, and they're all labelled, every single one of them, and they're all in pristine condition. What a wonderful space. If it wasn't for the fact that you would end up being completely dehydrated, I'd love to spend a whole day in this space just sitting and looking at these amazing plants. There, look at that, wonderful. And behind me, a whole display. Now, as I keep saying in these garden tour videos, please don't let the fact that I've given you a tour stop you from visiting, because I can only give you a flavour in these videos. And these gardens need our support, so please, if you're anywhere near and you get the opportunity, please do come and visit Torre Abbey Gardens. All this for £6 per adult. Isn't that amazing? Moving from the Cactus House, we see another small plant sale. The plants are in excellent condition and good value. If I wasn't driving home, I would pick up a few bargains there. Now this is an orchard, but this is just inspired. All these fruit trees here, underplanted with a magnificent wildflower meadow. It's a kind of version of companion planting, if you like, because a lot of fruit trees need insects for pollination. So the wildflowers attract the pollinators, which do their work on the fruit trees and enjoy a free supper of nectar. And happily it seems that the world has become a little bit more enlightened about eco-diversity. I've just planted 2 wildflower meadows at home, and it's amazing the value you get, because you sow the seeds one year and they come back year after year, and every year you're getting an amazing display and variety of all different kinds of colours, and you can relax and rest easy knowing that they're doing a fine job for the environment whilst also putting food on the table. These willow tunnels, fascinating, recently planted. The willow branches come as sticks and are just pushed into the ground and then woven together to make this arch, which promptly starts to grow. Look at that. And very soon these will become dense green shady arches which you can see through and also walk through. And here in the middle of this space, which feels like a kind of a kitchen herb garden, there's a water feature which has been given over to alpines. That's a wonderful use and reuse of a garden object. Actually, I think they might be strawberries in the bottom there. Through another of these arches, we see some espaliered fruit trees. Quite the skill to espalier a fruit tree, and also an exercise in patience. And there, behind me, is a wonderful fig tree, and the sun beats down, so sometimes you can take refuge in these convenient little shady spots underneath the mature tree canopy. We have sage, we have thyme, we have rosemary. I just need to find some parsley, and then I can start singing a folk song. Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme. A lavender walk and a rose arbour. And these beds which are being planted out will be a new feature in the garden. Unfortunately, they've had an attack of box tree caterpillar. So a lot of the box has been removed. Part of the challenges of gardening nowadays. And there is a beautiful olive tree. And in fact, a pair of olive trees flank this rose arbour. And as you enter this space, you're hit by the fragrance of these roses. But let me show you the colour of this rose here. Absolutely amazing. Look at that. Beautiful, deep, velvet red. And there's a label on it down here, so let's go and see what it is. Rosa Guinea Climbing Hybrid Tea. Plenty of places to sit in this garden, and conveniently some parasols for shade. And look at that there. What a view. Beautiful lavender plants here. Now, I don't know about you, but I struggle with lavender sometimes. I never get the pruning quite right. Sometimes it goes woody and sometimes it never comes back. And look at these wonderful herbaceous borders, peonies, a whole variety of different plants in the shadow of this wonderful abbey. And there is some history to that abbey, so if you're interested in history, have a read before you come to get your money's worth. And look at these palm trees. You can see the height of these because you can judge them against the glass house in the background. Some beautiful grasses. What a wonderful space. I can highly recommend a visit to Torre Abbey Gardens if you ever come to Torquay. And suddenly we're hit with the deep dark purple of this bush. Now, you see a lot of these in Torquay, in the herbaceous borders. I keep calling them cardoons. I'm going to check the head gardeners just over my shoulder. I'm going to check in a moment. I think they're cardoons. Correct me if I'm wrong. Some beautiful irises. Look at the glass house behind. And then we're slightly raised so we can look down on the Agatha Christie poison garden down there. So that now concludes my brief guided tour of the wonderful gardens at Torre Abbey. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it interesting and informative. And as I walk past these lavender and these amazing orange poppies, I guess, and you can probably hear a train going through Torquay station in the distance. And there's a cornflower. Please do subscribe and hit the notifications bell and check out Torre Abbey Gardens. The details are in the description box below this video. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.